Hey, Everyday Athlete Podcast Network listeners. Welcome to Fiery Embers. Today, I'm going to be joined by my guest, Wendy Mader, who is a triathlon coach, running coach. And I'm super excited to chat with Wendy. She was interviewed by Holly Sick for a Coach's Tips article that we published on runtrimag.com. And I've gotten to know Wendy through a couple of conversations since that point in time. And so I'm super excited to bring her on to Fiery Embers, which, as most of you know, and those of you who don't know will now know, that this is a show to nowhere. We're going to introduce endurance sports and we're going to just follow the path wherever it may lead, not a Q&A. We're here to have fun. We're here to laugh. We're here to make light of all the things that we take so seriously in these sports. So while you're running or maybe you're on the trainer, you can have a laugh. Before I bring Wendy on, please remember to subscribe, rate, and review to the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. I'm asking you for 5 stars. If you're inclined to give me anything less than 5 stars for our network, please email me at jason@runtrimag.com or DM us at runtrimag on Instagram, TikTok, message us on email. I mean, you've got a multitude of ways to connect with us. Lastly, do not forget about the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse. This is a private group of everyday athletes who are here to support each other, here to take care of each other, here to cheer each other on, and just connect on a deeper level beyond the metrics of how far or how fast you have gone. The membership is $15 a year or $25 for a lifetime, or a laugh time, because you're going to have plenty of that too. And I will tell you, you will get benefits back in spades starting on day one. We have discounts to partners such as Path Projects, Blue 70, H2O Audio, Montaigne, and the list goes on. And we're constantly working with others to bring more on board. In addition to that, we send you an awesome welcome box to bring you to the family and let you know where to come and hang out. So, plus exclusive content. So anyway, Everyday Athlete Clubhouse is on runtrimag.com under the shop tab. Anyway, without any more promoting on my part, let's bring Wendy on to the show and let's have some laughs. My friend, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. I think it's a tale of 2 locations with you in a beanie and me in a baseball hat.
I'll tell you what, the fiery chat side got me excited because today it's 34 degrees in Georgia, which is unusual for November. But the high is 38, the low is 34. And I actually love it. I lived in Colorado for about 20-ish years. And so we moved here in 2016. And I do miss the Colorado cold mountain
Yeah.
air. So today I got to go to Kennesaw Mountain and I went to the top of Kennesaw Mountain, which is 550 feet of elevation gain in about a mile. And I
Ooh.
ran along the ridge and it was just like the blowing air and the cold face. And I was dressed perfectly. I had like my Colorado coat. I call it my Colorado coat. And I had this beanie on. And it just, I don't know, it's really refreshing. Normally, I'm not a cold person, but
Yeah.
I've adapted when I started doing cold plunges a year ago to challenge myself to say I hate cold more than anything in this world. I'm going to overcome my coldness and jump in the outdoor pool, which progressively gets colder and colder, but it's open year round. So now that I've been doing cold plunges in cold water, I can handle 30 degrees. To me was fine.
That's awesome. And when you come home, is it coffee, tea? What do you warm
Coffee,
up with? Coffee.
coffee. Yeah, I'm not a tea person. I love coffee.
And what's the order for coffee?
Black,
Yeah.
tall, black, no room.
That's the way to do it. That's how I drink
Or
my coffee too.
Yeah, or venti, depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
Could be a venti black, no room.
Yep. Yesterday I had an Americano. And here's the thing about Americanos, I constantly forget. They are like so hot. I always forget that you can't take that first sip. You got to let it sit there for at least 30 seconds to a minute to let it cool down just a tad before you can get it. Otherwise, it's just super burning into my mouth. And it's been 30 years and I've still burned my mouth because I just want the coffee.
You just want the coffee, but yeah, I have to take the cover off and blow on it a little bit. Or if I try to sip it, you're kind of like, you anticipate it burning your tongue and you're kind of like, ooh, 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 ooh. And then you're like, what am I doing? I don't need it. I don't need it immediately. It's going to be fine. I'm still going to drink it all. Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Oh, 100%. So I mentioned that you're a triathlon coach, and I wrote something down here because, and it kind of dives into the conversation you had with Holly with regards to Strava and Instagram and social media and training. And so I want to go old school for a moment and ask you, what from the old school days should we be bringing back to triathlon today? And it could be anything, because I have my
Oh
thoughts.
gosh, everything. So, I think it's important for people to know is back when I started 33 years ago, I haven't missed a triathlon in 33 years, is we had a regular Timex chrono watch. And
Yep.
so to measure distance, or it wasn't distance, it was time.
Yep.
And so I didn't even always do that either. I mean, sometimes I would turn my bike computer on, but sometimes I would turn my watch on just to know, like, if I had to be back in a certain amount of time, but no distance, no elevation, no heart rate. Actually, after my freshman year in college, my parents got me a heart rate monitor, Polar. I wore it 24/7. I didn't know anything about it, but I mean, what a gift for me to have this heart rate monitor that I didn't know how to use. But eventually I figured it out. And so I think the gift of training freely
Yeah.
and not having to log it, it still counts.
Yeah.
Even if you don't
100%.
monitor it, it still counts. Your body
Your
still knows
body
what
knows.
you did. And the importance of rate of perceived effort, I mean, that's like a non-negotiable for me and the athletes I coach, because I use my heart rate monitor to learn rate of perceived effort. I
Yes.
used rate of perceived effort and heart rate when I started training with heart rate. So I think the lack of rate of perceived effort is a shame. And I think the just if it's not logged, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And I think you gotta get over that mindset and reframe your mind to say your body still knows what happened during whatever you did. And it's okay not to post it. It's okay not to log it. It's okay to just go in your training log and just say, to your coach or yourself, I rode for 2 hours and that's all's the data I need. I
Yeah.
rode for 2 hours at an effort of a 3 on a
Yeah.
scale of 0 to 10.
I felt
And I
great.
know
Yeah.
more about what happened than me looking at the data.
Yep. So for me, I wrote down, I want to see more athletes racing like Faris Al Sultan. If you remember him.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, wow, blast from the past. Totally.
For those new hats who have no idea who Faris Al Sultan is, first of all, Google him. And secondly, I'll just paint the picture. He raced in a Speedo. He was a male Ironman triathlete who was at the top of his game back in the day and
Mhm,
raced in a Speedo. And I just think about, like, the freedom like in today's world, the freedom he would have of racing in his Speedo with his jersey and not being encumbered, I guess you would say, by like the massive tri suits with the sleeves and how aerodynamic they are and all of this stuff. And there's zero wrong with it. Like, I've raced Ironman in those kits as well. Don't get me wrong, I did it too. But I just think about, like, we need to bring that back. We need a little bit more old school men racing in Speedos
mhm.
and just, being free to enjoy themselves out there. That's the path I went down.
Yeah, and that just reminds me of the underpants run in Kona that was started by Rock Fry and, his multi-sport coach, and I can't and Paula Newby Fraser and everyone else. They started it because the Germans used to show up to Kona wearing a heart rate monitor, without a shirt on, the heart rate monitor and the Speedo, and they'd be strutting around the Big Island of Leahy Drive, and
Yep.
that's why they started that underpants run because of that. And there's nothing wrong with I mean, that's how it was. We had no other option
Yep.
than to wear a swimsuit. I mean, in Kona, when my first Kona experience was 1997, and I found this really cute, it was a one piece, it was not a tri kit, but it was a one piece with a big chamois that I wore in Kona that year. It was just fabric, maybe some lycra, the chamois was cotton, but I wore it and I still wore like a white tank top t-shirt over it
Yeah.
because that's just what we wore different things
Yeah.
back then.
And
I
don't
didn't
get me,
even have aero bars the first
oh, I
Ironman I
believe
did.
it.
I
Like,
didn't
don't
have
get me
aero bars at
wrong.
all.
For our audience, don't get me wrong. I am all in on technology. I mean, we're recording a podcast, for crying out loud. Like, I'm all in on the technology, but there are some things when I look back in the day, I'm like, it'd be cool if we had this again. Like, if more people did X or Y or Z. And I don't know if you listened to the fireside chat we had a number of months ago where we had Bob Babbitt, Kurt Madden, and
Oh,
David
nice.
Gillibare.
Old
on,
school.
yeah, 1980, class of 1980. So the second ever Ironman. And Bob tells, first of all, they didn't have maps or watches with GPS or anything like that, right? They literally they had to have crew that followed them throughout the entire race to make sure that they were on course and showing them maps of where to go. And they had no aid stations. The aid station was the crew that was following them.
Or the McDonald's.
And yeah, whatever you could get.
Yeah.
And Bob told me that he had, like, I don't remember how many packages of Hawaiian rolls, but he fueled the entire Ironman on Hawaiian rolls that were being handed to him by the crew out of the car window while he was riding his bike.
Yeah.
And I just think that is so awesome. Like, we need a race organization that does like old school races. Like, here's the way we're going to do it. You're going to have Hawaiian rolls being handed to you by a car following you, and, you know, racing Speedos and all kinds of just shit that was happening 35, 40 years ago.
Well, Dave Orlansky was one of those first or second. I think he was the first Ironman. He used to be on Time Timex, which I was part of for many years. And there's this classic photo of him and his, 10-speed Schwinn bike with down tube shifters, all these cables coming out of his bike, and his cut off jeans. And
Yes,
that's
that's what
what he
Bob
rode
wore.
the bike in, and cut
Yes.
off jeans.
On our website, on runtrimag.com, we have a picture of Bob in jean shorts. That's what he raced into. Like, everybody who's listening to this or watching this, go find that link. I literally am the host of that episode, but I just lobbed a question or a phrase in, and then I stepped back. And Kurt, Dave, and Bob just told stories for an hour. It was amazing. It was absolutely
it's fun. It's fun telling the stories.
Speaking of aid stations, here's something I wrote down. I think it would be wild. And I know there's going to be a lot of pushback by people about you got to eat healthy and only eat kale and all of these things. But what if we were to get like a fast food aid station? Like, if you were at like mile 20 of the marathon of an Ironman, like, who wouldn't want a crunch wrap? I mean, you got 10K to go. You're exhausted. Like, a crunch wrap from Taco Bell would hit hard at that point. If you could have any fast food restaurant provide you with some food at some point in the marathon of an Ironman, what would it be and why?
McDonald's French fries. For sure. So I used to be a junk food junkie basically when I was a kid, but I was a very active kid. So it's just, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I used to eat the extra crispy. I wouldn't eat the chicken. I just ate the extra crispy skin. Yeah. And then I would be full, and I was thinking I was eating the chicken, but I wasn't. And I had McDonald's French fries. So we'd go to morning practices, and then we'd always go to McDonald's. Either after practice or after swim meets. I'd get 2 large fries and a hamburger. I didn't want anything on my hamburger, but I wanted those 2 large fries. And so that's probably would be my number one, and Kentucky Fried Chicken, because that's what I grew up in as a kid.
You know for a fact how many athletes let's say we put this aid station at mile 20, would be there in the blink, like, and just devouring, because they're salty as fuck. Like, you would love McDonald's French fries, carbs and salt at that point of the marathon for sure.
What would you want?
I mean, now that you mentioned McDonald's French fries, that would be awesome. I have been known to eat an Impossible Whopper in the middle of ultras. And so I could see at mile 20 taking a Whopper. And you know how, like, at ultras, they cut the peanut butter and jelly into 4s. Right?
Yeah.
So just give me like 2 pieces of an Impossible Whopper that I can walk and eat at that point, and that would give me enough lift to get to the end of the marathon. But do not serve Burger King French fries. Like, Burger King, I'm thrilled that you have the Impossible Whopper, but those French fries are not good. Like, if you could have the McDonald's French fries with the Impossible Whopper, I'm set.
I forgot about the Impossible Whopper. I haven't had one yet. So that's like, all of a sudden this light bulb went on in my mind. I'm like, oh gosh, that's really good fast food.
It's so good. Shout out to Brian Pacente. When I was doing Across the Years a couple of years ago, he was leaving the race course, and he said, hey man, can I get you anything? And I was half joking. I was like, yeah, if you're going to Burger King, you can get me some Impossible Whoppers. And he actually returned with an Impossible Whopper for me. Nice. And it was awesome. And so I've had Impossible Whoppers during Cocodona. I've had Impossible Whoppers at across the years. And I think I just had one recently at another event. I can't remember. But yeah, that would be the thing, that if you could have that at an aid station, sign me up.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is new school in triathlon or endurance sports in general that needs to go? And you could come up with anything. Like, should we get rid of carbon plated shoes? Should we get rid of, I don't know, what would you want to get rid of and say, this is unnecessary for me, so it's going to be unnecessary for everybody?
Ego.
Yes.
um, just ego. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different stories. But I think this day and age, there's just so much ego going on, especially in the United States. Now, I coached a group in Istanbul, Turkey,
Oh, wow.
from 2016 to 2019, and then COVID happened, and I kind of lost that relationship. But I used to go there twice a year and do camps with a bunch of guys, 20 guys who had absolutely no ego. And I'm like, this is weird to me that they respect me. They have no ego. They do everything I say as their coach. And I figured it out. It's because they have no ego. They do it for different reasons. They do it for camaraderie, social, community, fun, less of performance, win, PR, yada, yada, yada. It's just a really different type of group. And then I come back to the United States and I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone has so much ego. They think they're the best and the greatest. And they are to them, but, I think there just needs to be more of that, less ego in transition and more support and more like, keep your mouth shut. Don't pretend that you're know it all because you're not.
Welcome to Run, Try, Bike, where we profess to prove that there is a spot at the starting line for everybody and everybody. Like, I get
Mhm.
asked all the time about different things, and I tell people, like, I I honestly don't give a shit how far you ran, how far you swam, or how far you biked. I really don't give a shit how fast you did it either. I also don't care how slow you did it. Like,
Right.
I just want you to be active and connect with us, because I know that some of the best relationships I've ever had while doing these sports never revolved around um, competitive metrics. Like, we didn't sit around being like, well, I ran my marathon faster than you, and you ran, this ultra faster than me.
Mhm.
We told stories about the shit that went down, like the puddle you slipped in and covered in mud, or
Mhm.
the flat that took you like 3 times because you kept getting flats and you got angry as shit and you had to call an Uber to take you home. Like, those stories for me are what is endurance sports is all about. Like, all this other stuff is noise, and I will celebrate the hell out of you. You run the New York City Marathon, you run the Paducah Marathon, you run the Paducah 5K, you run the, you know, Tempe 10K. I'm going to celebrate the hell out of you, because it takes a lot of courage to get up out of bed on a regular basis, to train consistently, and take a risk and bet on yourself to get this complete. Like, I really don't care how fast or slow you do it. If you're doing it, I'm cheering for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be one thing I wish would leave the sport. But as far as like technology stuff, it keeps piling and piling and piling on new stuff, and I think that gets really confusing and overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like as a coach, I help athletes get rid of all the noise and say this is what works because I'm the athlete still using it. I'm the athlete that has the experience. Get rid of the noise and get rid of the Facebook groups. I think another thing is I think people join these Facebook groups and they ask questions and there's 10,000 athletes giving them advice and I'm like, how do you trust these people? Like how do you
Yeah.
know what to believe? It's just so much noise. So the ego and the noise, I would say, are two things
Yeah.
that I wish were gone.
If you could find yourself in a private group where you have, maybe not 10,000 people, but you have trusted people. So, we have the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse, and
Mhm.
we have coaches in there. And I would tell people, hey, go talk to this person or go talk to that person within the clubhouse, or somebody that I know and trust, as opposed to posting it publicly, because you're going to get a whole host of people
Mhm.
commenting, and you're going to be more confused after getting all of those responses than you were going into asking the question. There's no
Right.
doubt about it. Do you remember Slow Twitch?
Yeah, they're still around, right?
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah.
But when I first got into triathlon, like I would see people post things about their seat height or their position on a bike, and it was either you're a fucking idiot or you're a fucking asshole, right? That was the response.
Yeah.
Or it was like a whole litany of shit. And you could have avoided all of that if you just went to your local bike shop and got fitted
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm in this Facebook group and people are posting swim videos, and that's one of my expertise is swim analysis. And they'll
Yeah.
post a swim video and they'll get like, 100 different responses. And I'm like, that's not helpful.
Right.
What do you do now? You just
Right.
told people just, all these conflicting advices, and to me it gives me a headache because I know I'm the expert. I know what they should do, and I read all these responses and I'm like, I got to get out of this group because
Yeah.
it's giving me a headache to see all these incorrect responses.
It is wild. And I believe Slow Twitches. I know that they're still around, and I haven't gone there in ages, but
Either have I.
I'm guessing that the responses have not changed much.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about them, but I think I was part of it back in the early
Yeah.
days, the early 2000s or whatever, and then I just really haven't gone back. I mean, it's been years. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's been ages for me. I think after my first or second Ironman, which would have been 2011, 2012, is when I stopped
Mhm.
going there. You gain experience and you connect with the people that are around you in close proximity to you. And then you realize like a lot of the stuff that's on there is like not necessarily for you. And it's, just people commenting and have no idea how tall you are or what the course you're going to be racing on is. Like it just becomes a lot of noise in that scenario too.
Just so much noise.
It's everywhere. So you're in Georgia, you mentioned earlier, and I'm in LA, and that got me thinking about, and Ironman has been announcing, it feels like a new 70.3 every third day of the week. It feels like
Right.
it just seems like, wow, another 70.3. If Ironman said, Wendy, here's a blank check, find the place for the next 70.3 and or 140.6, where would you go? You get to pick the place, and don't worry about the legalities and the permits and all of that stuff. It's all taken care of.
Gosh, that's a good question. Um, Personally, I'm gonna give my own personal this is what I want.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
want I want a very choppy, very tough, in your face water swim.
Okay, so
None
we
of
have
this
to wait for like a
downstream
potential
stuff.
hurricane.
Yeah, none of this downstream stuff. Every new race in the last probably 3 to 5 years has all been downstream. I don't want any of that. I want a very wavy, tough hurricane, yes, swim. And I want it to be long. I want it to be, I wish it was longer, but I want a very tough, extremely tough hilly bike like they had in Marbella, 70.3.
Uh-huh.
The reason why is and then, of course, tough strength my strength is running hills, so a very tough hilly run course. So kinda like, Lake Placid, the bike and the run course are very hilly, kinda
Yeah.
something like that, but they need a tougher swim.
Yeah.
The reason why is Ironman is by definition should be tough. You should know going into it, you are gonna have extreme weather, extreme courses, extreme conditions. That's what it means to me, is something that's very hard and very challenging. And so if you're going to enter a race, you need to learn how to swim, you need to learn how to handle tough water conditions. That's what an Ironman is going to give you. There's no reason not to be prepared for the swim. And that's what most triathletes are usually unprepared for the swim,
Yeah.
and that's my expertise. And then, being in this Marbella 70.3 World Championship Facebook group, everyone was just like stressing and agonizing over these hills on the bike. And I go, you guys have 2 months. Go train for them. Go do big gear drills on your trainer. Go do strength training if you don't have hills in the area. You have plenty of time to prepare. You accepted the slot. Get ready for it. What an amazing opportunity to go train. I treat every race as a training day to go train in Spain. I mean, what an opportunity that you accepted, but you have plenty of time to prepare. And so to me, whatever area of the world is going to provide me number one, a tough swim, number two, hilly bike and hilly run would be amazing.
I don't know where that would be. You might have to have a wave pool set up so that you could get the chop to create the wave pool. I will arm wrestle you like I can get through swims, but because of the energy that gets expended
Uh-huh.
in a choppy water race, like if I can get in a flat river, I'm happy. Like I've done Louisville, I've done Chattanooga, I raced Tempe Town Lake in Arizona, which has
Yeah.
no current whatsoever. You're just it's just flat there. I've raced at Lake Woodlands and Ironman Texas. Though I even raced Ironman Florida, and the year that I raced Ironman Florida, the ocean was calm. Like there was not a lot of waves coming through,
Yeah.
and that helped me because it saved me energy. Now Florida is flat as all get out, right? There's not a hill to be seen in that entire race in Panama City Beach. So I didn't enjoy as much as I would have like getting on a bike and climbing. Like I enjoy that. I know that
Yeah. I don't like the descents, but I like climbing.
yeah, like I know that like you're gonna go slower, right? That's just part of the scenario when you're climbing in comparison to riding flat or descending. But there's just something about like the accomplishment of getting to the top of a tough climb on your
Mhm.
bike. I don't know what it is for me, but it is a massive sense of accomplishment. In LA here in Ventura County, there is zero flat sections. It's either a false flat or you're climbing, and
Mhm.
I loved being able to do that. And then a tough run course is always a good thing for me too. Like,
I wish it was dirt. I wish they
I was
could
gonna say, if you
provide
could put me into the
Ironman
dirt,
dirt.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
If there's a way to come, like, as I'm definitely afraid of mountain bikes. I'm not good at it. I'm definitely afraid of them. So if there was a way to have a road bike race, and then like when you get into T2, you transition into the woods, that
I
would be
love that.
awesome.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome too. Ocean, waves, road bike, hills, and mountain run.
You could probably
Amazing.
like I know they don't have Ironman Tahoe anymore. They had it the 1 year, but that would be the place that you could
Mhm.
probably get it because you'd have it's a big enough lake. It's like the ocean.
Yeah.
You can ride around the lake on the road there and then head off into the trails that go around the lake for a run. Like that would be an ideal place to do that. So that might be the
Yeah.
place. You might have to call Ironman and resurrect it.
And get that one back.
Yeah.
Why did they I mean, I remember the year they had the fires. Was that the last year they had it? Was
No,
the year
the year they had it, it was snowing. Like, it was
Oh, they snowing,
ass
yeah.
cold. Yeah, it was, like, super ass cold where a lot of the athletes were suffering from hypothermia coming like, the water temp was warmer than the air temp, so that
Right.
when they got out, like, it was just they were just freezing. Uh,
Mhm.
and, I don't it's a tourist spot, so I can't imagine it's very easy to get permits to close down roads
Mhm.
and stuff like that in that area. So I'm guessing that once they figured out the weather wasn't conducive and dealing with permits wasn't easy, that they stopped putting it on.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I was a race director back in the day as well for a local sprint. There's a lot more that you don't know what goes on behind the scenes as a race director until you're a race director.
I've talked to so many race directors in the last 5 years. And, because look, as athletes, one of the things we love to complain about is registration fees. And as I was talking to them, like the cost for shutting down roads and EMT and fire and police and the
And
list goes
porta
on.
johns.
Yeah, just everything.
Yeah.
It continues to go on, which is also why I think you have seen a growth in like looped events
Mhm.
and trail racing, because with trail racing, you don't have to have closed roads. And if
Mhm.
you're in a looped event, you're renting the park from the local municipality
Mhm.
where you're also not closing roads and it's still open to the public and people are running around a 1-2 mile loop, and not a massive deal. I think a large part of that is because of the expense of having to close the roads down, because you still need everything else, aid station stuff, porta johns and whatnot. But I was talking to a marathon race director, and I think he told me the cost for shutting down the streets in their city, and I would say it's a small to medium sized city, was like $15,000 for like 6 or
Oh
7 hours.
gosh.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
like, you gotta be shitting me, like mind blowing. And so I think that's where I think us as athletes, we often lose sight of the amount of money it costs to
Yeah.
put on races sometimes.
And just so athletes know, when you pay your entry fee, we as race directors are spending it like right away, like you said on the police, the traffic control, the security, the porta johns. So that's why there's really that deadline to say no refunds or no refunds at all because we've already spent the money.
Yeah.
Food, awards, shirts, hats, whatever swag we're gonna get. And again, I didn't recognize that until I was a race director, how much like we need those early entries. So we do
Yeah.
this is, until this month, it's $55. Next month it's $65. Next month it's $75 and the price goes up because we need the money right now.
Yeah. It's wild. It's definitely not something a lot of people think about when they're registering. And I think they have to we as athletes should give race directors some grace all along the way too. Like they're
Mhm.
human beings, they're doing the best that they can. Now, look, all it takes is one bad apple to ruin the whole bunch. And so there are race directors, I'm sure, out there that aren't, on the up and up with a lot of stuff, and it happens. But don't take that and make it everybody. The vast majority of
Right.
them are on the good side and trying to do the best that they can with what they have.
Right, exactly.
And make it a great experience for you, because guess what? They want you to come back. Like they don't want it to be such a shitty experience. You're like, I'm never doing this race again. They want you to come
Right.
back. We're about 30 minutes into this. So we have our show called What's in Your Earbuds? What are you listening today as our final question when you go out for your swim, your bike, or your run? What music is playing in your earbuds, Wendy?
Zero music. I don't like earbuds. I don't like things in my ears. I don't play music. I prefer to listen to podcasts. And
Okay.
since I joined the Everyday Athlete podcast, I've been kind of catching up on episodes. So really it's usually just a podcast. I have a list off of the top of my mind. I can't think of what they are. And then sometimes if I find a really good audiobook, it's
Yeah.
usually an audiobook, usually by maybe Brad Stulberg or Steve Magnus,
Great.
with coaching and
Yes.
athletes. I'll listen to their audiobooks, and it's usually from my phone, because I don't like things in my ears. And I knew you were going to ask something about what's in your earbuds.
Is it because podcasts and audiobooks are more calming, and so there's not a beat that goes to it, and so you'll end up training to
Um,
the beat?
I don't know. I think it's just I just like hearing and being
Gotcha.
educated, the educational component of it. The inspiration of some podcasts, but the music, I do like listening to music, usually if I'm inside on a treadmill.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I'll put some music on or just the music in the background, but it doesn't do it for I've never been big into music. It doesn't do it for me. I don't need I love nature.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't even wanna listen to anything because I
Yep.
love the sound of nature. Like my run today with the sound of the wind and the cold and the breeze and everything and seeing all these deers, and I even saw a buck. I mean, it was amazing, and I'm like, "Gosh, I'm glad I'm not distracted by anything in my ears." And I also like to just listen to my mind. Like
Yeah.
a lot of things are going on in my mind as specifically as I'm trail running. Like as a coach, I'm like, "Ooh, what a great idea for this athlete." And I'll take note on my phone
Oh,
if I
that's
come up
amazing.
with an idea that I want to help my athlete with. So yeah, I prefer nature or podcasts.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the testimonial for listening to the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. Wendy, thank you so much for joining me on the Fiery Embers. This was awesome. I'll see you
Yeah.
soon.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you soon.
For those of you that hung out with us for the last 35-ish minutes, thank you so much. Time is the greatest gift that we can give to each other, and you gave me the gift of your time. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to join the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse, runtrimag.com. Hover over the shop tab, click on the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse, and you'll be able to come join an amazing group of people that want to connect on deeper levels when it comes to swim, bike, and run. $15 a year, $25 for a lifetime, and the benefits far outweigh that cost. I'll see you next time on the next Fiery Embers.